This is Triumphator's third stage attack. I didn't know it existed until now. It is brilliant. It attacks you from anywhere. He is literally honking you to death, as I suggested. In the past, I've just defeated him too quick for him to actually pull it off. Right, even with the fade out, I'm going to keep on talking over it. Ooh, it's spooky, mystic magic wizard stuff. I have already recorded this, and it decided to delete the entire lot, so I am in a somewhat dilapidated state. Willing to say salutations and pompous things like that. I'm dealing with all the problems that most normal LPers have, but what can you do with it? I'm just going to keep going and see what happens. There are 4 brothers left. And you'll already know which ones I'm going to defeat this time. I decided to put that up with the actual posts in the thread. It's a bit of foreshadowing, I suppose. Some really, really blatant, ham-fisted, but just blunt enough, I think, for it to work effectively. You know what's coming up, and you can prepare for it. Whereas when I actually play it, and usually when I'm recording it, I've got no idea, so it all works out. Now I've got one more sister to feed. I believe it's just one more. Sister Aya, travelling sister, she wants crimson and amber, so I'm stocking up on that, as well as this emerald because there's loads of it. There's all sorts left over in the garden that I filled up in Yanni's last time, so I'm going to be doing that. And then keep on trying to find this breakthrough. Well, I will get it this time. I mean, I know what's going to happen. This is a post-commentary thing, which is the first time that I've actually done this fully. I could say that I'm just doing this for a gimmick, and how would you know? I think I'll turn it into something like that, with odd outbursts and slurps and things, just... Yeah, odd distractions in the distance. Right, so what am I doing? People are breaking into laughter. That's not Yanni. I've got to keep a lookout for her. She could appear at any area. I think that no matter where you are in the void, you have enough time to reach your travelling sister if you decide to head for her straight away. I cannot get this path right at all. Something about weaving in between that sister and the brother's chamber just doesn't work. There she is. So she's over there, and I've already committed myself to this garden, but you know, I may as well go and have a look right now. It'll mean that the cycle switches round and... Azure, gold, amber. Yeah, the cycle switches round and there'll be another sister attacked in the interim, but I can just leave it all free, who cares? And my garden too.
We accuse this sister of an attempt on the Creator's life. We will subject her to a trial and test her for heresy.
Oh no, that's a little bit low. Ole. They know how I feel about Ole. I've felt a certain obligation to her for the entire game so far. Whoever's going to attack her knows full well that they're going to receive the full brunt of my might, and there are 2 brothers very near her.
You'll die as soon as you leave this chamber.
I should stop doing that. I can avoid her little sound clip there, but I never do. I don't know, I just like a little reminder that she's still watching over me. So Ole's pretty stuffed. Oh, I keep getting stuck in this little bit here. It's like scumming my way into a shoe that's not mine when I'm trying to put on a big long boot on those things. I don't often dress up like that. Mainly weekends. It's an easy comment you can say to get rid of passers-by as they're trying to, you know, fret about whatever the hell you're doing. I love thinking about people's minds, but I hate when they actually try and cause you to make it up on the spur of the moment. It's very irritating. So, this glyph, that's a pretty well drawn glyph, I think. Even so, it fails. into even more needed to be said. Again, hoping that I get some sort of warm reception from her. Not much chance of it. Even after opening 2 hearts. By that stage, most sisters have livened up a bit. I think one of the nicest things would be if the sisters started getting a bit more gratuitous as you went along. Is that the right word there? I don't know. I mean, that stroking's gratuitous.
Hunger is when you want to scream from indifference. And this wandering spirit is the hungriest of us all. You glutton. It's not a coincidence you were born at Sister Death's. Well, then help her escape. Go, wanderer, and cry sour tears over her grave. She felt sorry for you and took care of you? Of course she did. Go, and give her your true heart. I'm not for you.
Oh, I'm Aya. I'm so bored. I am the hungriest of us all. Please, give me something. Oh, just solid. Why don't you just feed Sister Death? No, seriously, go and feed Sister Death. It's actually quite a good idea. She's got a really bizarre tone change. She cannot make up her mind. I love how the sisters gain more mobility as they go along. She seems to be the most mobile of them all.
That didn't hurt, did it? It's not hard to feed someone with your blood.
And she keeps undermining us. I feel a bit bad for her. She can't say anything nice, something that would actually make me want to feed her up. Usually, if I've given a sister 2 hearts, she'll start to think that I may be wanting to ascend her in particular. But no. She has nothing more to say. Nothing that could actually rescue her from this plight. I am the only chance that she's got. And she isn't trying to bring me round to her way of thinking at all. Right, I had a much better time when I was doing this garden. I decided to leave the entire thing in, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time here, and that's because it's the last chance that I have to really just wander around, pluck some flowers, that sort of thing, before things get really, really hectic. Next episode there'll be a lot of gathering, and that'll be fine. I'll be able to go around and do it, but it'll be very much the end game. Whereas this one is business as usual up until a certain point. So, yeah, I saw Adaptation, the 2002 film recently. It was really interesting. It was seeing things from a perspective that was pretty much previously unheard of in your classic Hollywood affair. Nicolas Cage, I could take him quite a bit more seriously than usual. Since he didn't have ridiculous hair, mainly. I mean, I like National Treasure and stuff like that. Namely, the subject matter and the locations aren't a part of a nation's history. That probably helped. Meryl Streep seemed much the same as a lot of her other characters, which isn't really a good thing if you watch the film, but she always has a sense of misplaced desperation about her. Chris Cooper, with his usual empathetic dark side, which is always a fun role to play. Right, so the film adaptation was like a behind-the-scenes look at how a film comes to be, using flowers as a case study. It could have been anything else, but it really worked for that. It was the material used for the actual film itself came about during the film, so as you watched it, the main character was constantly trying to come up with ideas for the film that you were currently watching. And I just think this echoes real life, and how the Void relates to it. A series of things happen, and it's constantly self-referential, because all the people seem to have control over how it's going to turn out, but it's merely an illusion. brought upon by the fact that we know it's going to work out okay eventually because the main character wrote the story that you're currently watching. So that's how the void works. We know that it's going to work out because life exists. Therefore, if a void is the creation of a life, then we know that it's going to work out okay.